Hi again, everyone. Welcome back to Enjoy English School. I'm Bruce.
I'm Anthony.
We're now in day 2 talking about Scary Jack and his lantern, which is the source or the origin of the story of Halloween pumpkins with lights inside of them, little candles. And the pumpkin is carved in a way that it's like a movie projector, and you see very skillful or funny pumpkins that have been carved and put on a porch or in a window of a house. Kids are all over the neighborhood wearing strange costumes and whatnot. It's a great deal of fun, especially if you're in the countryside. In the city, if you have a pumpkin and you put it in your window, and you live on the 22nd floor,
Oh, no.
No one will see it. So that might be a waste. Anyway, the countryside is the best place to go, or a small town.
没错，没错。我们昨天呢，很轻松的讲了很多跟万圣节有关的一些故事哦。那我们提到了这个 Stingy Jack， 就是吝啬鬼杰克，他当初怎么样跟魔鬼做了交易，然后最后天堂也不收他，地狱也不收他，他只能游荡在人间。在游荡在人间的过程当中呢，人们为了要驱赶他，或是驱赶其他的邪灵，就会制作这样的杰克灯笼。那我们今天的话呢，也是要继续介绍一下这个杰克灯笼有关的故事哦。那我们赶快来看看今天的内容吧。
The Tale of the Jack-o'-lantern. The story of the jack-o'-lantern also has a strong connection to nature. In Ireland, there are large areas of wetlands that are often flooded. If you go into these areas at night, you can sometimes see dancing lights on the surface of the water. These lights are naturally caused by gases from plants. They have been known to lead travelers into deep waters where they drown. The lights were sometimes called jack-o'-lanterns because people thought they were lost souls wandering around. The origins of Halloween gave jack-o'-lanterns a whole new purpose. The old festival of Samhain, which was celebrated around November 1st in Scotland and Ireland, is a time when the souls of the dead can come to walk the earth. During this time, people would carve jack-o'-lanterns and put them in their windows to keep evil spirits away and keep their homes safe. When the festival tradition spread to America, it eventually turned into Halloween. As electricity became more common, many of the old stories and traditions slipped away. These days, jack-o'-lanterns are mainly used to decorate Halloween parties or frighten trick-or-treaters.
Okay, let's get busy here. This is day 2 of our The Origin story, the origin of Halloween, especially the pumpkin carved and who Jack is in the phrase jack-o'-lantern. The story of the jack-o'-lantern also has a strong connection to nature. Well, we learned from our last day on this subject, many vegetables could be used to make lanterns, but we have more than that to learn about the nature of Halloween.
好，我们来看一下这一段的第一句话哦。他告诉你说，好 ，The story of the jack-o'-lantern， 好，这南瓜灯的故事呢 ，also has a strong connection to nature， 居然跟我们的大自然也有非常强烈的连结跟关联哦。好 ，has a strong connection to something。记得如果提到大自然的话，直接讲 nature 就好，不要加 the。好，就是 get close to nature， 就是亲近大自然，没有加 the 哦。
In Ireland, there are large areas of wetlands that are often flooded. Well, that makes sense. Wetland is land with a lot of water in it. It's like a swamp, and swamps always have water, so they look flooded. And these areas do something special that we'll share with you in a moment.
没错，没错，他这边提到了 in Ireland， 好，在这个爱尔兰这个地方 ，there are large areas of wetlands。如果记得以前提到这个 wetlands， 都会想到 marsh， 还有那个老师刚刚提到的 swamp， 这个 marsh 的话是湿地，它有的时候是湿，有时候是干的，但是 swamp 的话就是时时刻刻一年四季都是这种湿的这个地方，沼泽嘛，比较
Bog.
B-O-G. Oh, bog. Oh, okay.
Is another one. We have lots of words in American English to describe this land that actually, if it's a wetland, maybe in the season of rain, it's too wet. But as it gets drier, then you can add water to it and make grow your vegetables in it. But swamp and bog and
marsh,
you couldn't grow anything there except mosquitoes.
天哪！所以只能养蚊子啊，其他那种植物都没有办法养，对不对？好，他这边提到说了，在爱尔兰呢，有非常非常大片的这种淹水的湿地 that are often flooded。这个字 flooded 来自于名词 flood。flood 就是洪水的意思嘛，对不对？提到自然灾害的时候，你会常常看到这个字，加上 ed 之后变成 flooded， 就变成形容词，指的是这个地方呢经常淹水。
If you go into these areas at night, you can sometimes see dancing lights on the surface of the water.
他说 ，If you go into these areas at night， 如果你晚上你到了这些区域之后呢 ，you can sometimes see dancing lights on the surface of the water. 所以这边讲的 dancing lights on the surface of the water， 水面上有这种闪动的这种光亮就是这样子的一个情况。
These lights are naturally caused by gases from plants.
他就告诉你讲说 ，these lights are naturally caused by gases from plants. 原来呢这些植物会释放出这些气体，然后呢这些光呢也是自然而然透过这些气体而出现的。
They have been known, these dancing lights are very attractive. Oh, look at the dancing lights. And so they draw people's attention and they may want to go into this flooded area. They have been known to lead travelers. People here, that's important. Local people know the land even at night, but a traveler wouldn't. And if they saw something attractive like dancing lights, they might walk towards them and walk into the flooded land. If it's deep enough, they will drown.
好恐怖哦！所以感觉有点像是陷阱哎，然后看到那有光亮，应该有人吧？走着走着，哇，里面就可能就淹死了。所以他这边这句话讲到说非常非常重要。They have been known to lead travelers into deep waters。所以这边这个 they 指的就是这些光亮啊，可能会让这种远方来的这些 travelers 旅途上的这些人呢，会想说，那边有光，慢慢就往那边走，然后 into deep waters where they drown， 然后不小心就溺毙了，在那个地方就淹死了。其实这样其实是非常危险的事情。
The lights were sometimes called jack-o'-lanterns, which we talked about yesterday, because people thought they were lost souls wandering around. And remember, scary Jack couldn't go to heaven and he couldn't go to hell. He had to wander all his life around, holding a lantern with a coal in it for light and heat.
没错，没错。所以在这边的话呢，你看到这整个感觉就对位了哈。The lights were sometimes called jack-o'-lanterns. 这些光呢也被称呼为叫做捷克灯笼。为什么呢 ？Because people thought 当时那些人们觉得说 they were lost souls wandering around， 就很像是这些人就是迷失的灵魂，在这个世间不断的游荡着。你可以想象一下，那种感觉就很像是这些游荡的灵魂用灯光来吸引这些旅途人，然后他们就可以来抓交替，有没有？你淹死了，我就活了，然后你又在这个地方继续抓交替，好可怕哦！我的天哪！
Okay, that's it for this paragraph. Take a short break, relax, and we'll join you after the break for more about the story. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a look at our first sentence of the second paragraph. The origins, key word, of Halloween gave jack-o'-lanterns a whole new purpose. We're talking about things like Halloween and jack-o'-lantern. Where do these words come from? Well, the origin of these words, that's a story of interest by itself.
没错，所以这边的话，他提到说 the origins of Halloween， 好，这个万圣节的起源呢，好 ，origins 这边的话是一个关键字汇哦。好，万圣节的起源怎么样 ？Gave jack-o'-lanterns a whole new purpose。所以在万圣节之前，其实 jack-o'-lantern 它就已经存在，大家也都知道那是 jack-o'-lantern 有不一样的故事。但是万圣节的出现，给予了这个新的面貌、新的意义。Gave jack-o'-lanterns a whole new purpose。这个 purpose 可以是这个用途啦，或是目的啦，或是新的这种意义。
The old festival of
Samhain.
I can't speak that language, which was celebrated around November 1st in Scotland and Ireland, is a time when the souls of the dead can come to walk the earth. Just as our friend Scary Jack had to spend his life walking around. He couldn't go to heaven. He couldn't go to hell. Now, this was an old holiday that was part of old English culture, very, very early culture, and around November 1st. Later, this day, November 1st, would be called All Saints Day, S-A-I-N-T, Fusuja S, All Saints Day, November 1st. You can see that on some American or English language calendars. All Saints Day. The day before it is Halloween. That's the festival. Okay. Now, on All Saints Day, the dead come back to life just for one night, and they can walk around and visit, and supposedly people could invite them into their homes. In Mexico, there's the Day of the
Day of the Dead.
The Day of the Dead. So in some cultures, this is not a strange idea.
没错，没错。我们来看这句话，他说The Old Festival of Samhain。好，这个 Old Festival 就是古代，这个 Samhain 的话是夏末节哦。古代夏末节的话，他说 which was celebrated around November 1st in Scotland and Ireland。原来是在这个苏格兰跟爱尔兰，时间呢是在11月1号左右庆祝的这种节庆哦。因为它这个发音 Samhain， 其实上它不是英文，它好像是居尔特语吧？啊，也就是我们刚刚上一集的时候，就是昨天有提到居尔特，好，爱尔兰啦，他们有的这个特殊的语言。那总而言之呢，他们在11月1号左右庆祝的节日，然后他会告诉你说，他说 It is a time when the souls of the dead can come to walk the earth。在这个时间点呢，很多的以前过往的亡灵可以在世间哦这样子走一走。老师刚刚也提到另外一个非常有名的，在墨西哥啊，如果你听过亡灵节的话，它是11月1号跟12月2号这2天。那如果你看过可可夜总会，你会对这个亡灵节有更深刻的这个体会哦，是一个很棒的一个动画的故事。好啦，所以他告诉你说，在这一天呢，好左右的时候，亡灵可以在这个世间这样游走，可以去看可能以前过往的亲人啦等等。
During this time, October 31st, November 1st, November 2nd, this time, people would carve jack-o'-lanterns and put them in their windows of their homes and face out so that the face of the pumpkin is looking outside. And again, you can carve scary faces, so it might keep some souls away from your house or keep evil spirits. These are bad ghosts away, to keep them away some distance from your house, and that will keep their homes safe.
Yeah, 没错。所以在这里的话，在这段时间里面 ，during this time, people would carve jack-o'-lanterns 啊，他们就会雕出这些捷克灯笼 ，and put them in their windows 好，还把它放在这个窗户这个地方 ，to keep evil spirits away 可以赶走这些邪灵。And keep their home safe。你就想象一下，我们中元节做些什么事情嘛？所以说今天各式各样的好兄弟都来了，我们会祭祀他们，然后叫他们，哎，你们开心的玩，但是不要来我家哦，那样的感觉。
When the festival tradition spread to America, it eventually turned into Halloween. And So originally it was All Saints' Day, and it still is for some people in the United States. But for most people in the U.S., some of them don't even know about November 1st, November 2nd. They only know October 31st, the night. That's the Halloween. Hallow is hallowed, which means holy. Een is evening. So it's the hallowed evening because the spirits come back to communicate or visit or curse to give problems to people who are not yet dead.
所以这边的话呢，他就告诉你说，在这一段里面，他提到说 ，When the first tradition spread to America， 好，当节日的传统它传到美国的时候，事实上呢，老师刚刚提到说，很多人他们只知道10月31号晚上的那个 Halloween， 这个 Halloween 居然是 Hallow 指的是就是指那个 holy， 就是神圣的 ，in 指的是 evening， 所以是神圣的这个夜晚，神圣的傍晚，也就是我们说的 Halloween 万圣节。但是呢，真正大部分人比较不是那么清楚说，原来真正的万圣日 All Saints Day 是11月1号，也就是万圣节晚上的第2天。OK， 所以这边 When the festival tradition 当节日传统传入美国的时候呢， It eventually turned into Halloween。这样的节庆到了美国，慢慢落地生根了，它有它自己的名字 Halloween， 就是我们现在所熟知的万圣节咯。
As electricity became more common, many of the old stories and traditions slipped away. This is true in every country, I believe. Certainly in America, it was true. With electricity, you don't need a candle in a pumpkin to show. You can turn on lights, and you lose some of that
festivity,
fear and festivity.
Yes. 没错没错，所以说今天一旦有电了之后，对不对？大家灯都打开的灯火通明，那种感觉是那种恐怖感啦，还有那种节庆 festivity 那种节庆的那种氛围气氛的话呢，就慢慢的就丧失了哦。festivity 的拼法，你如果知道 festival， 你知道 F-E-S-T-I-V-A-L 是 festival， 你把那个 A-L 拿掉，变成 I-T-Y 就是 festivity， 指的是节庆。这样的氛围 ，OK， 所以这边的话，这句话 as electricity became more common， 越来越多的电力随着电力普及了之后呢 ，many of the old stories and traditions slipped away， 好，慢慢的这些以前的故事啦、旧的传统啦，就慢慢的凋零，逐渐消失了。
These days, jack-o'-lanterns are mainly used to decorate Halloween parties or frighten trick-or-treaters. These days, in modern times, the jack-o'-lanterns may have two different purposes. One is simply to make people feel, oh, it's a holiday, it's Halloween, let's have a good time, let's make pumpkins. I know my son and grandchildren last year, they bought big pumpkins and they carved them themselves. They went through all of this. It's still, except in the big cities where you can't do that easily anymore, in the towns, villages, that's where you will see these traditions. So one purpose is to celebrate the festivity of Halloween. The other purpose is, they say, to frighten trick-or-treaters. Some very small children might actually think it's a real ghost or something like that. Yeah. And people will turn off their electric lights in the house. So it gives a strong effect. Only the small children will feel afraid. Older children, they want their candy. Trick or treat.
没错没错。所以呢，现在到时至今日了之后呢 ，these days jack-o'-lanterns are mainly used to decorate Halloween parties. 它变最后只剩下了装饰，让人家感受到万圣节氛围的这种用途。另外呢，或者是 or frighten trick-or-treaters， 好，就变成是有些小孩就是我来要糖，然后你看到那个 jack-o'-lantern， 他以为会真的是以为是鬼哦，就会害怕。只剩下第二种功能就是去吓这些小孩，让他们不敢来要糖。但是大小孩还是说 糖来，不然我就把你们家都毁了。好可爱哦。
Oh, well, we hope you've enjoyed these 2 days with us, talking about the festivities around October 31st to November 1st or 2nd. Learning culture is one of the benefits of learning a foreign language, I think, and I hope you'll agree. We'll be back again next month, and until then, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.